Scott, also known as the little guy, the guy on the left, the silent one, has long-lasting COVID symptoms and still cannot fully taste or smell. Hashtag trust Bart.
Hey, it's a Scotch Test Dummies.
Woo, Bart here.
I'm Scott.
Yeah.
Stagg Jr. release 130.2 proof, 65.1% ABV. We've been sitting on this one.
Yeah, we're going to test it. Tonal shift.
That was the like evangelical rhythm style.
I can hear the chupacabra in the back. You're going to hear some chupacabra noise. Some don't know what the chupacabra is, but you got a lawn person.
Yeah. Yep,
Cousin Shane.
Cousin
Shane.
Cousin Shane is out there
out handling the yard.
We need to have Cousin Shane on.
We do.
We do have the new blackened whiskey from Metallica, a new release,
perfect.
and I just told him, I said, hey, we'll have to have you on when we do that.
That's perfect.
But
Lone Soldier.
on another note, we actually filmed this review a while back.
Yes.
And then we found out we didn't actually film it.
I think I hit record on the camera, then you hit record on the computer because I didn't communicate and shut it off.
Could be.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
Because what we should have had, we would have had these, which is the front and the back.
That's there. Yeah.
We would have had these beautiful outtakes. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Hair, hat. Look at this.
We were recording when we didn't think we were recording.
So then I got in to edit it, and I'm like, whoa, wow, we did a 6-minute one? And then I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
We can't curse like that.
We're talking about some stuff.
Yeah. Cursing.
So anyway,
delete.
This is probably 2 batches ago now. I don't know if there's been a new batch since this one. It's the 65.1%. It's 130.2 proof.
Here's the cool thing. I wasn't overly upset that we had to go back to your bottle.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you didn't even believe me. I'm like, hey, it didn't work. You're like, ha.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, no, we got to reshoot it. And you're like, I'm like, seriously.
But, so this is May 2021.
Yep.
October of 2020, I got COVID. I've had long-lasting COVID effects of the taste and the smell not coming back.
I like how we had one commenter that thought you may be faking that.
Thought I was faking it.
Yeah, I'm like,
I wish.
For 8 months, you're just faking.
Well, he said he thought I was faking it for the views.
For the views.
But the thing is, we don't advertise it.
Well, and you're a whiskey reviewer, so saying you can't properly nose and taste something, I don't think it helps with the views. They'd be like, why am I watching this shit?
Right, there'd be no reason to do that.
Victimhood.
But I think my taste is back 80-90%. My smell is, today it's showing some good signs.
Yeah, you hit some good stuff. We filmed a couple shows. You guys know we batch film shows, so.
And now actually I'm just getting, maybe it's wore out now because I'm just getting whiskey. I'm getting some brown sugar and caramels.
Yep, brown sugar, caramel. I almost get like a touch of a little rye pepper in there. Whether there's a lot of rye in the mash bill or not, I do not know.
Some. But I had picked this up last. I got COVID in October. I picked this up in October, November timeframe. Well, we didn't film.
Nope.
Until late March.
Right.
And finally we said, hey, we got to start filming again.
Yeah.
Well,
we were like a hit show that went on break.
Yep. And then stayed on break.
For a while. Well, they do a 5-month hiatus. We did a 5-month.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right. That was good. So, yeah, I get a lot of baking spices. I think I want to keep saying kitchen spices. Kitchen.
Do it.
There's some den spices. There's some living room spices. Nope, no spices in those rooms. Just in the kitchen. So you're tasting. I just laughed into my glass and fogged it. I don't know if that shows up. Look at that. Little Android head. Hello.
The palate is definitely working better than the nose. I got just a blast of cinnamon. There's oak, there's cinnamon.
Oh yeah.
Your caramels, your vanillas, hints of It's barrel proof, obviously. 66% doesn't disappoint.
Nope.
65.1.
You'll like
sorry.
it. When you said blast of cinnamon, you're right. The flash, the very first taste you get is blast of cinnamon, overrides any kind of middle palate. All the flavors start to kick in the finish. And there's popcorn and creamed butter. Caramel sits there. Touches of butterscotch. Actually, the caramel turns into butterscotch.
How about cherry cordials?
I hate those, first of all.
Yeah.
I know.
But
I don't know if I'm getting them.
The chocolate with the cherry and the little
with
syrup.
the cherry.
And the syrup that's in there.
I think I had a bad syrup one or something once, and then
You probably ate too many of them.
probably did 5 all at once. Just went crazy.
Looked like a chipmunk.
Yeah, they were
Cheeks
like, "What are you
puffed out."
doing? It's want to taste." I'm like, "What are the rules?" I didn't know there was cordial rules.
Little bit of spiciness to it.
Yeah. Well, it's that first. So the distinguishing part is the cinnamon flash. Yeah, I'll take a big drop. Cinnamon flash right at the front. And it'll make you wake up, pay attention, and then you can literally feel it starting to evolve. Like I said, for me, there's no mid palate because it takes over, and then it starts to evolve after that finish kicks in. And that's when you start to pick up all these other flavors that I've already mentioned.
Really, I mean, it's a Stagg Jr. release.
Yeah.
It's barrel proof bourbon.
It's what you would expect. I wouldn't say there's anything unexpected here.
I think it still comes off, and we've talked about this in the past. It comes off a little bit younger than the Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Mm-hmm.
You know, both have some rye in the mash bill, but the Elijah Craig barrel proof it does still carry the 12-year age statement. This is non-age statement. It's probably, I'm guessing 8, 9, 10 years old, somewhere in there. It comes off a little bit younger. It just doesn't have quite that barrel impact.
Right. It doesn't feel as rounded.
Right. Just the oak.
That's a good point.
Punch.
Yeah. The finish is still beautiful, though. Like I said, I just got the first buttered popcorn there again. And then that's when the caramel comes out and then transitions into butterscotch. That's very good.
How about burnt butterscotch? Maybe just slightly like toasted butterscotch.
Are you thinking flan?
No.
You're like, you always
flan.
say the flan and
Flan's
the
more
burnt
caramelish,
caramel.
isn't it?
Yeah. It's a burnt sugar, that caramel that's drizzled over the top. It's good.
I was thinking almost like a chunk of butterscotch or maybe even toffee. What's the there were some candies that were like it was like a butterscotch, but it was hard, chewy. I can't remember what they're called.
About.
It was like in a stick, or they were longer.
Yeah. Not a bit of honey, but
no.
I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Almost like one of those. It was like a toffee butterscotch type candy, and if it was toasted. Of course, my palate is a little off still. I don't think it's fully back. It's doing better, but a nice palate. It's really, to me, it's a little smoother, a little more mellow, I think, than some. But maybe that's my palate.
Well, for me, that cinnamon burst is where I couldn't call it smooth or mellow because it pops with that cinnamon burst. What's intriguing is it totally takes over, envelops your palate.
Mm-hmm.
The mid palate is blown away. And then after the swallow, that's when that finish comes in and adds in all the complexity that's sitting there. Mm-hmm. And that to me is a fun little adventure. It's a little adventure. So it's like rappelling in that first jump off, and then you kind of catch it, and then you're just doing the little hops, and it's like no big deal. You got it. But that first one takes a little bit of a whoop.
Yeah. It's not a bottle of wow. It's not wowing me. It's good. I like the barrel proof, good flavor. I'm going 90.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking 88. 89.
I gotta let you score first. We're always
you should let me score first because I was thinking kind of 89, but it was like, man, it's too close to the 90. And then as soon as you said your score, I'm like, well, it's got to be 88 now.
Yeah,
because I can't be within one of you. Let me go first. Then because we don't plan that. Well, that one maybe I adjusted. I thought 89 is too high. So we haven't had any new folks come in, but if If you want to help support the show, you can go to Patreon, patreon.com, look up Scotch Test Dummies. You can support for $1 a show, $10 a show. You can set your max, so you don't have to worry about how many shows we do. We usually do 10, maybe 12 if we're doing really good in a month. But again, you could set $10 with a one-time gift of $10 donation. Not really a gift; it's a gift.
Yeah,
allows us to buy these things.
Yeah. Now, we didn't talk price real quick. We got this for $65. If you're lucky, you find it in that range anymore. You used to be able to find these on the shelves. You know, Stagg Jr. only, I think they do 3 batches a year, maybe 2. Anymore, it's allocated. You're lucky if you find it, and I think you're lucky if you find it for $65. But, you know, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof at $100, I tell you it's worth it. This at $100, you're probably...
Jesus, I don't like the movement of the prices. For me, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof will always be $46.99.
What?
Oh,
We've
yeah.
never got it for, well...
Yes, we did.
Was that
I
Oklahoma?
bought 3 bottles
At $46.99?
Yes. I was ecstatic because usually it's 60 something, and I found it at $46.99, and I bought all 3. And then I said, sorry, I bought all 3, and they said 7 more in the back. I'm like, damn, this place is awesome. I'm not even going to tell you where it is. Some of you will know because we mentioned it in the past. Scotch It, you Scotch gods.
Sláinte.
Dummies. The Well of OKC. Had a